Good evening and welcome back to the Brahms News Network. Tonight we have a breaking news report. After years of letting it lay dormant, Konami has decided to reboot Silent Hill. But with it, we have to ask the question, is this what we want? Or is Konami back on their bullshit? For that, we go to our on-site correspondent, Harry Jameson. Harry, how's it looking out there? Hey, yeah, thanks, Henry. Well, as you can see, it seems okay so far. It does look like a return to form, but I don't know. I smell bullshit. Well, viewers at home, I am truly shocked. I wish I could say that I was. No, stop it. Stop it.
Silent Hill's coming back, y'all. We gotta talk about it. Look, I love Silent Hill, if you couldn't tell. It was a formative game for me when I was younger in terms of my love for storytelling and horror, and one of my best friends and I would stay up all night trying to get a 10-star rank on the first game just so we could blast people with the Green Beam Hyper Blaster. If you know, you know. And each subsequent entry in the series, up to 4, deepened my love for it in ways that maybe I'll dive into on the channel someday if you all want to see that. Hell, if you get a beer or two in me, I'll tell you how Origins is actually cooler than you remember, and how Homecoming is actually a pretty cool entry story-wise into the series, much better than fucking Downpour. And that's a hill I'll fucking die on. Oh, Jesus Christ, the stupid puns have already started. I'm so sorry. Seriously though? Fuck Downpour. But when Konami sold their soul to the mobile gachapon god of death, I said my fond farewell to my favorite series and figured we would never get a return to the form that made Silent Hill great to begin with. And then we got PT. The sleeper demo we all never expected. Papa Kojima, Del Toro, Junji fucking Ito, and Norman Reedus in there for some spice. And goddammit, it was good. For a brief moment, we caught lightning in a bottle. Again. And then Konami sunk that bitch like the Titanic. But we got Death Stranding out of it, and hey, that game is a fucking masterpiece, so you know what? I'm not even mad. Great job, Papa Kojima. Please cast me in something. I'm an actor, and I would do anything. Cut to 2019, when the world was young and ignorant, and we had no idea there was a literal plague incoming, and we got these. 3 new entries. Ascension, Downfall, and F, or Forte. Okay. And a remake of 2? Okay. And a movie? Oh. But we all collectively, albeit cautiously, rejoiced. Silent Hill might actually be making a return. Hallelujah. But the questions remained. 4 games at once, a remake of 2 and not 1? After all we've been through, is this what the fans really want? Or are we careening dangerously down the path that diluted this beloved franchise to begin with? So let's talk about what we know so far. Now, even though 1 needs the remake the most in my opinion, just based on graphics and system capability alone, 2 makes sense. It's the game people remember most fondly, and it brought the series to a much wider audience. I don't think that's debatable, really. Also, it's a standalone title. You'll learn everything you need to learn about Silent Hill, and the story acts as a contained tale within the sleepy town that we all love. Now, the trailer looks good. Yes, even James's face. Look, I know people were mad about James' face, but it's 2023, capabilities have changed, and I want to see more expression on the faces of my character models. So I guess if that's the thing you're gonna get pissed about, go ahead. But take off your nostalgia glasses for a second. Like, come on. I don't care if he kind of looks doofy, okay? It's good. I want to see it. I want to see him upset. I want to see Maria be pissed. I want to see Pyramid Head of the nurse. Please don't Rule 34 that. I'm totally down for the better graphics. Masahiro Ito's monsters brought into a new age of graphical fidelity are going to be insane, and Yamaoka's music literally cannot get better, so that's going to be amazing to hear again, remastered, I'd wager. Plus, the big thing to remember is, this is the Bloober team behind this. Yamaoka made The Medium with them, and if I had to choose the most adjacent devs to work on the old team, these beloved creators of Layers of Fear are definitely the crew I'd assemble to work on it. I think this is gonna be good. Sure, things will change. We'll have to strip off our rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia, but I'm genuinely excited, and I think if you're a true Silent Hill fan, this is gonna be a great experience. Thumbs up, baby! So next up, we have Townfall. Now, Townfall is the one we know the least about. We only have a single teaser to go on and the dev's past work. Now, this is going to be the biggest gameplay style departure of all the new releases, I think. I'd imagine, given what the team did with observations and stories untold, it's going to be a hybrid point-and-click style narrative adventure. And while the teaser gives me a bit of Death Stranding vibes, I think overall in the long run of expanding the Silent Hill universe, this could be a really cool take. It's a different approach, it's fresh, and I like it. Now, the title Townfall evokes the word downfall, and this could be a prequel of sorts, diving into the perspective of the people in Silent Hill as it began to spiral and degrade because of their brutal treatment of Alessa. And a Reddit user named MilkmanX apparently extracted the trailer's audio file and found a hidden message in the spectrogram. It apparently reads, "Whatever heart this town had has now stopped." So if that's true, it would lend some credence to this theory, and it would be really cool to see some other perspectives of people in the town. Like, I would love to see their take on these events. It's maybe a weird injection of Dr. Kaufman or Lisa into more of their own story, or not. New townsfolk would also be an interesting perspective. But given the words of the trailer about punishment for what we've done, this is what it evokes for me. Alternatively, it could be an adjacent town like Brahms or Ashfield, and someone's experience as they witness Silent Hill swirling into the abyss it becomes. But that seems less likely given the "why are you here" question in the trailer. It almost seems like an interrogation with the dialogue and the quick clip of whoever this guy is. But given the art direction and quick shots inside that portable TV, which, by the way, I love that little thing. That thing is nostalgic for me. My dad used to have one of those, and it was amazing. It has the moody style that we expect and some beach imagery that gives me a bit more New England than we've seen in previous titles, and maybe alludes to new areas. Honestly, this seems really cool so far. I really, really dig this. I guess we'll see, but for me, there's a big thumbs up. I get really excited watching this teaser trailer. Now, F is the most aesthetically different. Off the bat, the Japanese influence here is on display. We get deserted rice fields, a sleepy Japanese rural town. We get a lot of flowering and blooming imagery in a color palette a bit different from the Silent Hills of the past, backed by a piano score. Now, the F in the title here is written like the musical notation forte. Forte is a musical term that means loud. It usually forms a portion of a piece of music's dynamic range for emphasis, either at the beginning or the end of a piece. The trailer even displays a forte change in its piano composition halfway through the trailer. At the end, we get a very midsummer shot of a possible protagonist here, which could allude to some folk horror cult-like themes, so I'm down for that. So what does that all mean? Well, we have a single female in a school uniform-like outfit, very evocative of the younger Alessa from the first game's opening cutscene, which is interesting. It also brings in the possibility of perhaps another psychically gifted girl. We have things like Ringu that deal with powerful psychics, and perhaps the blooming is symbolizing her powers growing and blooming into their full potential. Maybe potentially a similar story to Silent Hill, we know, but happening in a different town, in rural Japan. The story isn't hard to see taking place in another part of the world, where a girl with these really intense psychic powers has a very similar experience somewhere else. And forte meaning her story is growing in volume, becoming louder. And this game is her experience trying to cope with these rapidly developing psychic powers. It's a story we really didn't get to experience with Alessa. We only get the aftermath. And maybe this mystery girl is the antagonist, in a way, creating monsters and fears unknown while being persecuted by it and not understanding her powers. This would be really, really engaging, in my opinion. So F for me totally gets a thumbs up. So we're doing great, right? I mean, right? Right?
Yeah, well, this is where things start to get dicey. We got a new movie coming.
The new movie is set to be helmed by Christoph Gans and is supposedly inspired by Silent Hill 2, which is kind of funny when you think about it, because I thought he sort of just smashed 1 and 2 together in the first movie, albeit it was a mom going after her daughter instead of a dad, because then the dad had to go to Silent Hill to find his wife. See how they just mashed 1 and 2 together because they were fucking lazy? I gotta be honest, I don't love the movies. I won't lie. While the performances were mostly good for what the actors had to work with, the script left a lot to be desired. The movies seemed to just take things they thought were cool from the games and use them however they wanted, for Hollywood shock value, and they got progressively worse as the movies continued.
I don't have hope for this. I think it's gonna be bad.
Christoph Gann's one redeeming movie, in my opinion, is Brotherhood of the Wolf, which is a weird, wild ride, but also pretty rad and inspired this absolute gem. Which I'm here for, but he doesn't make emotionally compelling movies, and his scripts are usually pretty weak, constantly relying on the actors and the VFX department and the rest of the crew to glue the movie together. And I know, they're working with Konami, but, you know, Konami also thought this was a good entry into Silent Hill.
Hit the lever!
So, do with that what you will. I'd rather see directors like Ari Aster tackle this, given the Midsommar reference, or like in my dream, David fucking Lynch, but that'll never happen. But hey, I can dream.
Oh my fuck. Could you imagine David fucking Lynch making a Silent Hill movie?
The comparisons in Twin Peaks aside, because I think that's easy enough to make, and if you don't know what I mean, just go look up a Twin Peaks synopsis, or actually better yet, just go watch Twin Peaks, but just think about like Mulholland Drive. I feel like it would be terrifying. So for now, I don't have high hopes. Unless you really like the movies and are ready for more of this, then
I don't know. I ain't saying it's looking good, man. And finally, we have Ascension. I wish I could say I did this in the order of best to best, but I didn't.
This may be my most divisive opinion in the video here, but this looks bad. Like, real bad. However, I think there could be some really compelling aspects to it. Firstly, do you remember the rumor that Silent Hills, like the PT, what it was going to be, was going to have some sort of interactivity with our phones, like, it was going to text us, like real dystopian shit, draw us into the world? Well, I mean, that didn't happen, obviously, because Silent Hills is gone, rip. I think that perhaps Ascension is taking whatever, or maybe that technology was, or the idea for that technology, and it's using it in its game. Or book, or ebook, digital comic.
I don't fucking know.
The game is being developed by Bad Robot Games and Genvid, who interestingly work in gaming experiences that aim to bring a level of interactivity that seems to push the boundaries of video games. This is cool. It's got a Bandersnatch choose-your-own-adventure vibe, so it seems like we'll all collectively decide the fate of the characters. Now, this is a super intriguing concept, the thought that the player will get to cement themselves into the history of how the story is written. It gives a level of agency to the player that is pretty unheard of. And if this becomes some sort of story that only those who participated in at the time can collectively share, knowing we all shaped the experience together, as a concept, that's genius. Now all they need to do is deliver with compelling characters and good writing.
I can feel it. Your guilt. So thick it chokes the air.
How did we get here? Well, we started with this. This is the first trailer we got. You can see it looks like a Discord messages. They're talking about someone named Amina, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name, and they are talking about, perceivably, a big spooky monster trying to get her and debating if they can save her and how they need everyone to help. Then this Dark Souls mini-boss stabs the ground and a cockroach runs away and it's over. Then we recently got this one.
You want to know how you can escape from this place, but you can't. Any more than you can escape yourself and the pain you carry. It fills you up like a sickness, a disease.
Now, I'm just gonna say this. Fucking stop with the guilt shit. Stop it. Stop it. That was the story base of one game, bro. Please. A Silent Hill story does not have to be solely based on your guilt, and the town doesn't have to be some sentient 3D printer spewing out monsters from your subconscious about shit you should be telling your therapist about.
But what would your Silent Hill town be if it was? Let me know in the comments. I want to know, what would your monsters look like? Mine would be like fucking Thursday Taco Bell. Just a bunch of monsters, Crunchwrap Supremes chasing me around for my fucking guilt about eating them.
And all this trailer is big spooky monsters and guilt talk, and not good writing if I'm being really critical. And I am and will continue to be really critical, because while I acknowledge the innovation that sounds like is happening here behind the scenes, the trailer could not seem more like a person who didn't play Silent Hill at all, again.
And herein lies the real curse of Silent Hill. It was such a genre-defining moment that its imagery and its surface themes have become more iconic than what actually made the game great.
I'm not saying those weren't an aspect of it, but they were just that, an aspect, a piece of the whole. Because while having amazing monster design and mirrored worlds of horror that definitely looks like Silent Hill, without the liminality of a forgotten town, of longing and loneliness, without the desire to tell something besides a spooky story, it's not truly Silent Hill. However, they've got a chance. None of these titles are released yet, so don't go crazy spewing hate in anyone's comments section or any of the devs' direction. And these are just my opinions and theories. They could all be wrong or right. I don't know. That's what's fun and exciting about the anticipation of waiting for new games.
But what I do know is this: we have never had so much Silent Hill to look forward to at one time. And for somebody who obviously loves the fucking games, that's pretty cool. So what do you think? Are you stoked for the future of Silent Hill, or do you think the series should be better left alone? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like the video, make sure you like it and sub and see what else we have on the channel. It really helps me keep doing all these horror deep dives into the games that we love. But until next time, my friends, stay spooky, and I'll see you real soon. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Homecoming is a more interesting story than Downpour. And yeah, I know the mechanics aren't great, but like, get a beer in me. Get a beer in me and I'll convince you it's a better game. I'm not kidding.